privilege and honor to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, the man who has single-handedly changed the way people in this country view Muslim Americans like you and me. Given the tragically misguided rhetoric of the Republican Party this election year, our future in this country had begun to look bleak until Khizr and Alina Ahsan stepped onto the national stage to show the world the side of the Muslim community that they rarely see in the media. Their story began like many of yours, and certainly like the story of my own parents. Two incredibly hardworking, modest, intelligent people met, married, started a family, and ended up making their way to America in search of a new life. They moved here with their two young sons in 1980, and in 1986, Mr. Khan obtained a degree from Harvard Law School and became a US citizen. They were living the American dream, and Mr. Khan was proud to represent the ideals of this nation in his daily life, to the extent that he kept a copy of the Constitution in his pocket at all times, and even kept extra copies in his home, available to guests to take as they pleased. In Pakistan, Ghazala and Khizr Khan left behind friends and family, a comfortable and familiar home, and the country in which they were raised. They believed, like many of you, that coming to America would allow them to provide their children with a future in which they were free to be themselves. And with this dream in mind, the Khans allowed their talented son, Humayun, to join the US Army and serve his country. Mr. and Mrs. Khan knowingly sacrificed many things when they immigrated to America, but they did not know that they would make the ultimate sacrifice. In 2004, Captain Humayun Khan sacrificed his life in Iraq to save the lives of his fellow soldiers. Captain Khan was awarded a Bronze Star Medal and a Purple Heart posthumously for his outstanding courage. Despite their unthinkable loss, Mr. and Mrs. Khan have continued to honor their son's memory and regard the US Army with pride. They attend the annual ROTC commissioning ceremony at the University of Virginia, and Mr. Khan gives one of his pocket constitutions to each graduate. This year, Mr. Khan gave the most impactful speech of the Democratic National Convention. He reminded America that Muslim Americans have sacrificed more for this country than they had ever realized, and that we have a profound love and respect for this country because we understand that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are not universally recognized rights. No one understands this better than Mr. Khan, and I am delighted to have the opportunity to thank him for representing our community with dignity and grace. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Khizr Khan to the stage.